Hey guys, Epic Carry Guides here. Today we are looking into tactics of defeating the first boss of Castle Nathria on Heroic and Mythic difficulty level, Shriewking. In the beginning, start off with Bloodlust. Your tank should taunt the boss next to the pillar and turn him around from the raid so you can easily hide behind the pillar. The boss will use Earsplitting Shriek twice during the main stage. It's an AoE ability, which deals a huge amount of damage, applies DOT effect, and leaves a puddle under your feet. During the cast, which lasts 5 seconds, you should hide behind the pillar or run towards the corner of the room. The next spell is Echoing Screech. The boss turns to a random player and starts launching plenty of small white sonic balls. When touching a player, applies fear for 3 seconds and 5 seconds after that the boss casts an ability called Descent, dealing damage and leaving a red puddle. You can trigger this ability in a convenient way so that you don't have a need to avoid it. In order to do that, the raid, except for 2 tanks, should stay behind Shriewking and be ready to move to the left-right side of the boss when he starts casting the spell. The last important mechanic at the first stage is Echolocation. The boss chooses a couple of random players and casts Descent after 8 seconds at the place of their location, dealing damage in a small area and leaving a small puddle. Your goal is to keep your raid away from this debuff. Among the insignificant mechanics that do not affect the course of the battle, such abilities as Wave of Blood and Blind Swipe can be noted. The first ability deals minor periodic damage to the raid, and the second one is a custom frontal boss attack that directs it to a random player. You just have to step aside. The tanks in this battle are only required to replace each other after a special attack of the boss Exsanguinating Bite. The boss applies 10 stacks of bleeding on the victim, reducing received healing by 10% and increasing received physical damage by 5% with every stack. Every 1.5 seconds, 1 stack drops from the target. Having collected 100% of energy, the boss jumps to the center, where he begins the transition to the second phase, Intermission. During this phase, any player entering the red circle, in other words, within a radius less than 12 meters from the boss, instantly dies. The boss also uses previously known Earsplitting Shriek and Echoing Sonar. In addition, he is completely immune to any damage, so you just have to wait until it ends, with 0 energy. At the end of the second phase, the first stage will begin again, and this process will repeat over and over again. The algorithm of actions in mythical difficulty is completely identical to the heroic, with the exception of a new mechanic, the Blood Lantern. You will find a lantern in front of the boss. Within 4 meters of the lantern, you will get a debuff for 12 seconds, allowing you to see white sonic balls from the boss's Echoing Screech sonar abilities. In mythic difficulty you cannot see them by default, you need to take a little damage from the lantern to see them. The player can take the lantern to increase its range to 14 meters. The tactics in mythical complexity boil down to the following. In the first phase, you will not need the lantern, since the raid stands behind the boss in a heap and triggers white balls along a convenient trajectory. When sonic balls are released by the boss, the raid simply runs to the left or right side, granting complete safety from the possibility of touching one of the balls. Be careful with the DOT damage from the lantern, because being within its radius of action, the damage is accumulated. We do not recommend getting more than 6 to 7 stacks. Important. The lantern can be broken by the boss's jump if you bring the Echolocation ability into it or catch the white ball while standing in it, so in phase 1, make sure that the lantern is at a distance from the raid, and in phase 2, be ready to move the lantern to a safe place. You will have about 3 seconds for that. It's worth noting that in mythic difficulty, correct positioning is very important, while in heroic difficulty, you don't really have to worry about being displaced too much. Given that, we recommend you to practice mythic tactics in heroic difficulty as well, so that your guild is prepared to face extra obstacles. That's all. Leave your comments and subscribe if you like it. And also see our other guides.